जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनातीरवनचारी यमुनातीरवनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Gaur Hari Bol जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद अभय चरणा रविंद्र भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON विविटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगा माई की जमुना माई की तुलसी महारानी की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की समवेद भक्त वृंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू द assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 7, text number 19. Yat sevaya bhagavatah kutastasya madhudvishah ratiraso bhavet tivrah padayor vyasanardanayah. Yat sevaya bhagavatah kutastasya madhudvishah ratiraso bhavet tivrah padayor vyasanardanah. Yat sevaya bhagavatah kutastasya madhudvishah ratiraso bhavet tivrah padayor vyasanardanah. Mataji's. Word to word meaning. Yat, to whom, sevaya, by service, bhagavatah, of the personality of Godhead, kutasthasya, of the unchangeable, madhudvishah, the enemy of the madhu asura, rati rasah, attachment in different relationships, bhavet, develops, tivrah, highly ecstatic, padayoh, of the feet, vyasana, distresses, ardanaha, vanquishing. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. By serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is the unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon, and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses. Purport. The association of a bona fide spiritual master, like the sage Maitreya, can be of absolute help in achieving transcendental attachment for the direct service of the Lord. The Lord is the enemy of the Madhu demon, or in other words, He is the enemy of the suffering of His pure devotees. The word Rati Rasaha is significant in this verse. Service to the Lord is rendered in different transcendental mellows, relationships, neutral, active, friendly, parental, and nuptial. A living entity in the liberated position of transcendental service to the Lord becomes attracted to one of the above mentioned mellows. And when one is engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord, one's service One's service attachment in the material world is automatically vanquished. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.59, Raso Varjam Raso Apyasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakchurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Savdvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak something on this verse of Bhagavatam. Please bless me so that I can speak something which can purify myself and help others, or those who are listening. So we are today on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, Chapter 7, verse number 20. Again, once we'll recite this verse. Yat sevaya bhagavatah kutastha madhudvishah rati raso bhave tivrah pad yor vyasanardanaha. So, here in this verse, talk is going between Maitreya Muni and Viduraji. So, after inquiring so many things, Viduraji is saying this verse to Maitreya Muni that by serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable enemy of Madhu demon, and whose service vanquishes one's material distresses. So, here the association of bona fide spiritual master is emphasized, especially here it is written about Maitreya Muni, whom Viduraji is referring to, that how the association of bona fide spiritual master helps one elevate his spiritual consciousness and elevate himself from the material consciousness and go to the spiritual consciousness. Every day when we sing the first prayers in temple is Guru Ashtakam. There we sing the glories of the spiritual master in 8 verses, Ashtakam. So there, same thing is written, that in every verse it starts from Samsara Dava Nala Leda Lokatra. Samsara Dava Nala Leda Loka Tranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam. So it is said that this samsara, this material world, is like a blazing forest fire, Davanal. We have experience of little fire in and around us, sometime in the stove or sometime in house, some fire may be there which will get, and ultimately you have to dodge it down if that fire is burning everything. So when the fire is too much, we call fire brigade, if you are not able to control it. But the fire of the forest cannot be controlled. Even all the fire brigade, all the departments are unable to do, they are unable to dodge this fire. So we have seen many fires from the news channels or other way, how the forest fire is uncontrollable, and just the government and everything just wait and watch. They are having no means. Only time this forest fire is dodged by the mercy of the Lord when the rain comes. That's why the mercy of a spiritual master is called Ghana Ghanatvam. When the mercy of a spiritual master falls on the living entity, that time the burning fire of this material existence, which is not less than, it is more than the forest fire, then only it can be doused. Otherwise, it is not possible. So this mercy of the bona fide spiritual master, that can extinguish the fire of burning in this material world. And the living entity is burning in this material world with the three types of tapa: adhyatmik, adhibhautik and adhidevik klesha. These are three tapas. Person is burning and he is doing. In tapa, it is said, tapa has a property of tap, that it will give heat. So when you do penances also, it generates heats. That's why the same thing is there, tapasya and tapa. Both are having the elements of heat. So when the person do tapasya, then heat generates. We have seen in the story of Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, what he was doing. By his meditation and his tapasya, he was burning the three planetary system. But when one do this tapasya for pleasing the Lord, then it pleases the Lord and all the living entity. Then it has a cooling effect. Although this is tapasya, but it gives cooling effect. It saves one from the burning miseries of this material world and transcends one to the spiritual abode. So every tapasya, if done in mode of goodness, helps the living entities. Although it burns, it gives pains to the living entities, but if it is a mode of goodness, the end result will be good. It will benefit the living entity. Like when we are told by doctor to have some parhez from some eatables, and when we do that, when we restrict our tongue from such things, then ultimately it helps our health to recover from the disease and to regain our health, our strength. Initially, it appears that these are very much disturbing. Initially, our mind rebels that what you are doing, leave these things. But if we leave the prescribed things which has given by the doctor, then ultimately we suffers. Sometimes we see that when people get bored, in their boredom and they are having so much time, then they try to eat something, they try to munch something, and whatever is there, they may find some snacks, some chips, and they start munching it. And gradually it becomes a habit. Whenever the person is bored, he try to munch, try to get some snacks. And that ultimately leads to, whenever a pattern is set in his life, that whenever he get bored, he tries to munch it with different items. And it also becomes sometimes cyclic. When he is not bored and he is munching too much, then it leads to boredom. So this type of activity where we are not restricted and we indulge according to our senses ultimately leads to suffering of the living entity. And gradually such activities leads us to only one option, that whenever we are bored or something like, we start to opt for that activities which ultimately kills our time or our productivity. But Shastra says that come out of it. Otherwise, you will not be able to utilize your time. Then associate with persons who are on the right path. If we associate with the right person, then only we will develop those qualities which are desired in our life to advance in a spiritual life or also in material life. We see that when a person wants to advance in particular field, what he does, he tries to take association from such person who are in that field, who are advanced in that field. There are so many associations in this world, like Association of Doctors, Chamber of Commerce, Association of all, even the players, even different players having their different associations. And what they do, that in their association, they learn the techniques from each other. They discuss, although all other living exchanges are also there, as it is written in Nectar of Instruction. So, in this association, one refines his qualities in that particular field. It is said that संगत से गुण होता है, संगत से गुण जात. If one associate with good person, he will inculcate the good qualities. And if one remains or associate with miscreants type of people, then he will develop all those bad qualities. When Krishna was bound with the wooden grinding mortar, so Mother Yashoda saw that Krishna has become too much mischievous, so let me punish him. And when finally, after so much endeavor, Krishna was caught and tied with the rope, and where he was tied with that same wooden grinding mortar, ukhal. So one Acharya says that since Krishna has done mischief, khal is like Khalanayak, you say. He has done mischief, and this ukhal is another. So if she thought, if I bind this Krishna, one khal with another khal, then what will happen? Sometime both will neutralize. Pag gaye ek dusre se. So he will leave his mischievousness. So here, Mother Yashoda uses a different technique. It is not that always same thing works. It is said that लोहे को लोहा काटता है, हीरे को हीरा काटता है, पर कभी लकड़ी को लकड़ी नहीं काटता है. So same example can't be repeated everywhere. So we also see that when we do Nirjal Ekadasi, what we do? We try to come to temple or be in a situation where more devotees are there who are doing Nirjal fast on that day. And in that way, we try to do more and more japa, try to focus on the holy name, hear kirtan, sing kirtan, and we pass our day like that. And if on that day we have many times we hear, or many times we have in our own life we have experienced that some days we have decided that we will fast whole day, Nirjal. But devotees all around us are eating Ekadasi Prasad, obviously. And we are tired from the whole days of activity. And ultimately in the evening, what happens? Now let me also eat. Ultimately, the principle is we should chant more, we should focus more. But after eating, we feel that why I ate? Because we associated with those who were eating around us. We are not focused on what it is not. I'm not focusing that eating is bad or doing Nirjal is best. But since you had decided that you have to do Nirjal on that particular day, so better is to associate or be with those persons who are not eating. If we associate with those persons or be around with such persons who are eating, then our mind will also tempt to give up that fasting. We have heard the story of monkeys, that once the group of monkeys decided that now this Nirjal Ekadasi is coming, we will also do Nirjal Ekadasi. And they all decided, so they all decided that tomorrow we will do Nirjal. So they started their Nirjal next day. But one monkey, the leader among them, he said, see, we are doing Nirjal, so after Nirjal, the next day we have to break the fast. So whole day we have to conserve our energy, so don't jump from one branch to another, just be at one place. So all monkeys are following, yes, yes. And gradually their energy was getting down and down. Obviously they were not chanting. In material world we also see that people, those who are not devotee also, devotee of Lord Vishnu, they also fast for Ekadasi, because the Ekadasi Mahatma is so much. If you read any of the Ekadasi Mahatma, you will read that anyone who do this, he will be relieved from all of his sins from all the lifetimes. And he will go back home, back to God. Almost this type of story is there in every Ekadasi Mahatma. So people fast. I was having one boy in my college days who used to fast on Ekadasi, try to do Nirjal, but on all other days, no regulatory principle was followed. Why? Because he was thinking, he has heard somewhere that by doing Nirjal Ekadasi or by doing Ekadasi, you will get so much benefit, karma kanda type of thing. So these monkeys were also doing their Nirjal Ekadasi. So one monkey then, when the day started passing by around 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, then one monkey said, see, tomorrow we will not be having energy to climb up the tree, pluck the fruit. So better we should pluck the fruit today only. Otherwise we will be so much having low energy that we will not be able to climb. So we should collect the fruit. So they all collected their own fruit. No one was collecting fruit for others, because it will take energy. They have to spend more and more energy. So they collected fruit, and they felt that we will be so much hungry. So they collected more fruit, and they were still continuing their fast. When day was about to end, daytime, so then this one suggested, see, tomorrow we will not be having energy, collect the water also. So they tried to collect water or watery fruits. Then later on, one suggests, see, tomorrow we will not be having energy to chew also. Let us put this fruit in our mouth, that when tomorrow morning we will get up, this will be in our mouth, and we will break our fast with this fruit. And they kept this fruit in their mouth. And what happened? You all know. That ultimately that sense object was so near to their mouth, in their mouth, and from their tongue, that ultimately they chewed it, and their fasting was over. Before the fast they completed, their fasting got over. So similarly happens with all the living entities. That if you try to develop good qualities, we have to be such person who are developing that qualities. So if you want to become good devotee, we should associate with those devotees who are strict in their sadhana. Strict, were nice in their dealings with other Vaishnavas, those who are glorifying others, not criticizing others. And in that way, even if we are having the qualities of criticizing others, which is in every devotee more or less, which everyone personally may feel that, okay, these bad qualities are there with me. So what is the solution? We should try to associate with those devotees and leave that place where discussion about the devotees' shortcomings are going on with no fruitive results, no positive results. So when we associate with such devotees and we are having association of such devotees, then all these good qualities will gradually increase in ourselves. Otherwise, we will drain our energy. Most of the time, our energy is spent just fighting to avoid distraction. And very hardly any energy is left to engage positively. So we should not be in a position where always we have to struggle to just keep bare minimum required. Why not we should change that position where we can perform better? As it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the story of Gaja and Graha, crocodile and elephant, that ultimately crocodile wins there. Ultimately, actually, elephant wins, but before that win, the 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 fight went for thousand celestial years, and in that 1,000 years, although the elephant is so much powerful creature, but he was fighting with crocodile, and he was got caught in the waters. So ultimately, the surrounding of the waters gave a strength to crocodile, and he gained the strength, and he grabbed elephant. Ultimately, the elephant was so much distressed that he called for everyone, but no one was able to help. All the relatives, they were unable to help, and he offered his prayers, which he remembered from his previous birth, and those prayers were directed to Lord Vishnu. All other demigods came, but they were unable to help because these prayers were not directed to them. Ultimately, Lord Vishnu came, and when he saw that his devotee is in danger, he relieved him by cutting the head of crocodile. But when Vishnu comes, the benefit is of all others, not only elephant, the crocodile also got salvation. So we see in this story that if we are fighting, we should also choose the battleground where we have to fight. It should not be that battleground should be where most of our energy is getting drained. We should choose this properly. Otherwise, we will not be able to fight, and we will gradually lose our hope, our strength, and gradually lose our hope. So we should associate with such devotees who are doing the same activity, and we should be in a position where we can conserve our energy to perform our devotional service. In this translation, further Prabhupada is writing from the verse only that by serving the feet of the spiritual master, one is enabled to develop transcendental ecstasy in the service of the personality of Godhead, who is unchangeable enemy of the Madhu demon. So Madhu demon always, time and again, we see that in scriptures, this term is referred to Krishna or Lord Vishnu, that one who slays the demon Madhu. So who was this Madhu? The name appears so sweet, Madhu, but he was a demon. Madhu in Sanskrit refers to honey, but this name was also of a demon. And Madhu sometimes is referred to bumblebee also. Madhupa means one who drinks the nectar from the flowers. So Madhu demon, who was what he did? So once when Brahma was creating this, he was meditating on the lotus flower. That time Lord Vishnu was in his slumber, in his Yoga Nidra, and these Madhu and Kaitav appears from the earwax of Brahma. And that time they stole all the data of Brahmaji, how to do creation. All the Vedas, which gives the knowledge, 4 Vedas were lost. They stole these Vedas and hid inside the ocean. And when Brahma wanted to create, he was not having any knowledge. All the data was lost. So he prayed to Lord Vishnu. That much data was remaining. To how to pray, whom to pray at least. He prayed to Lord Vishnu that I want to create, but I am not having any knowledge. Then Lord Vishnu came to know that what has happened, and he ultimately killed this demon Madhu and Kaitava with different means. Sridhar Swami says in his commentary that false ego is also sweet. It is like Madhu, as honey, and resides in the heart of everyone, making one forget his own identity. It intoxicates everyone. So it also, although the name is Madhu name is here represents of a demon, but how it also denotes a demoniac tendency which is residing in our heart, which is destroying us, but we feel that this is very dear to us. It is like honey, which we very much like it. It intoxicates everyone. And who is Madhusudan? He who destroys false ego with torchlight of knowledge. He is called Madhusudan. So that is Krishna. When the knowledge of Supreme Personality of God is arisen in the heart, that time the ignorance of the living entity is destroyed. A bumblebee tends to enjoy the honey of the lotus, and Krishna enjoys the honey of his lotus, of the devotee. Krishna enjoys the honey of the devotee, of his devotee, of his devotee's love. Rupa Goswami in his drama Vidagdha Madhav, so in that he also uses this term of Madhu. So this meaning of Madhu is described there, that how Krishna tried to remove the this false ego of the living entity, and how he want to release the loving relationship with his devotees. In the and there in Vidagdha Madhav drama, it is written, the pastime comes that Radha and Krishna, they were sitting together, and one bumblebee comes flying. So one friend asked that, remove this madhu. And she went somewhere, and then that friend came and later informed that madhu has gone. And at that moment, Radharani was so much absorbed that she thought that Krishna, who is also referred sometimes as Madhu, that he has gone. And she was in Vipralamba bhav, that now Krishna has gone, I am separated with Krishna. And she has started crying. Tears have started rolling from her eyes. And she was oblivious to surrounding, that Krishna was present beside her, but she thought that Krishna is not there, and she was crying. And when Krishna saw that Radharani is crying, he also started to cry. And tears also started to came from the eyes of Krishna. And later on, these tears from both their eyes merged together, and they form a kund. And that kund is called, that kund, which the kund formed, that was called Prem Sarovar. This kund is still there in Vrindavan. If you go there, you can see that kund. This kund denotes the highest love of Radha and Krishna. Prabhupada here is writing that he is the enemy of the suffering of his pure devotee. The word Rati Rasaha is significant in this verse. Service to the Lord is rendered in different transcendental mellows: neutral, active, friendly, parental, and nuptial. A living entity in the liberated position of transcendental service of the Lord becomes attracted to one of the above mentioned mellows. So all these 5 relationships are there, which a living entity, when he is in relation with Krishna, he enjoys this. And when one is engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord, one's service attachment in the material world is automatically vanquished. Otherwise, what happens that we are trying to release the relationships in this material world. We have forgotten our eternal relationship with Lord, and we are trying to release whatever comes in contact with us. If you see a small child, what he does, all the times, whatever he comes in contact with, he try to put that in his mouth. Because his only object of sense gratification at that time is through his tongue. And he feels that whatever is there, let me taste it, how it tastes. Whatever food he has tasted, he has found, and he will always try to grab things and put in his mouth. Similarly, we also try to grab whatever we comes in contact with, according to the 5 different senses, and we try to be in contact with all these sense objects and try to release that. But what happens? We keep on trying, one after another object, and we are never satisfied. Prahlad Maharaj says, Charvananti Charvananam, that living entity is chewing the chewed. As we see in the soap where cane juice are made, all the ganna that is extracted, if someone tries to extract juice from that extracted cane, is it possible? No. It may give some sensation that some sweetness is there, but he will not gain any real sweetness in that. For real sweetness, what he has to do? He has to extract the original cane, sugar cane. So in that way only he can release. But what happens that in this world we are trying to enjoy so many things. And ultimately we also feel that no, I'm not able to enjoy. The way I want to enjoy, I'm not able to enjoy. I'm able to enjoy, but not the way I want to. I want 100%, but the happiness which is available through all this sense contact is not even a fraction of that. And when this understanding comes, that there is something beyond when one comes in contact with the higher objects. From the object which is just beyond the sensory perception of this world. From the scriptures we come to know that, oh, I am not this body. Our knowledge may lead to some knowledge that, okay, I am not this body, but what is beyond that? I am not this body, I am soul. And we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, that is written in the scriptures. And when we apply this knowledge, then we see that actually I am not enjoying this material world. I am suffering in this material world. I am just trying to maintain my position so that I am not get plunged into the miseries of this material world. And in between, I am trying to enjoy a little bit. So this taste to disengage from just sensory perception, sensory enjoyment of this material world, one has to hook to some higher taste. Otherwise, if you are not engaged in the higher taste, lower taste will never leave us, or we will never leave the lower taste. Just like one beggar is there in the roadside and he's chewing the dry chapati. If someone says that leave this dry chapati, leave, he will not leave, because he is only that dry chapati to chew. But if you want to leave him to leave that dry chapati, just give him some gulab jamun, butter halwa, all these objects. What he will do? He will start releasing gulab jamun, butter halwa. And when he will leave that dry chapati, he will also not know. We have all come in this process in same way. We were also, many of us were having hooked with the bad taste, so-called bad taste, which still many people are after that. But we have left that. How it was possible? If we turn back, we will feel that it was simply possible by the higher taste of the Mahaprasad, by the devotees, association of the devotees. We left all these bad things and we have come to this devotional service and started to release the higher taste. Still we are very far. Way is very, very far, but we have come to the right path, and if we are able to engage properly in devotional service, one day will come where we will be situated in proper consciousness, where we will serve Supreme Personality of Godhead. We will be eternally happy. And here it is, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, rasa varjam raso pyasya param drishtva nivartate, that the embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment through the taste for sense enjoyment. But though the taste for sense enjoyment remains, but ceasing such engagements by experiencing higher taste, he is fixed in consciousness of Krishna consciousness. So this we have discussed in this verse, and today is also Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami disappearance day. So we will discuss a little bit of that also. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and he was born in the 13th day of dark moon in Posh month, Krishna Paksh ki Trayodasi ke din. And he performed his pastime in this world for almost 75 years and entered into his eternal pastimes in 1578. He was son of Venkata Bhatta of Srirangam. He was born in Srirangam in Sri, and Venkata Bhatt was initiated in Ramanuja Sampradaya, in Sri Sampradaya, in the disciplic succession of Sri Ramanujacharya. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in his tour of South India, he came at Sri Rangam and stayed in the home of Sri Venkata Bhatt in year 1511 for the 4 months of Chaturmasya. And there he used to discuss topics with Sri Venkata Bhatt, and there Sri Venkata Bhatt once discussed, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he asked that why your Lakshmi? Because he was a Sri Vaishnava and they were worshipping Lakshmi Narayan. So he said that why your Lakshmi was not, why she want to associate with Krishna in his Ras dance? She is a chaste lady. Then Venkata Bhatt replied, yes, it is not contradictory. Lakshmi and Vishnu and Krishna are the same personality in two different forms. So it is not that she was not chaste. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that, but she was not allowed to enter into the Rasa Lila. Why was so? And she was performing austerity. So he was, and we see that Upanishads, they performed austerity and they were allowed to enter into this pastime, but she was not allowed. Then ultimately he was not able to answer. Then then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that because Lakshmi Devi was not really able to leave the position of goddess of fortune of Vaikuntha, that's why she was not allowed. Krishna, as a cowherd boy, he is not very much, his opulences is seen in Vrindavan, especially in his pastime with his eternal friends, with gopis. So there she was not allowed. So ultimately, Venkata Bhatta realized that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Initially he was thinking that Narayan is the Supreme, but later on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proved, but in a very jokingly way and very friendly way. It was not hurting. So one may be higher in rasa with other, but it should not hurt others. And later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there in his house, so that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to call Gopal, and used to give him his Mahaprasad. And he said that you keep on serving your parents, and one day later on you come to Vrindavan. So later on, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left, and finally the parents of Gopal, but they also left, and before going they said that after our passing away, we go to Vrindavan. And while he was in Sri Rangam, he learned Sanskrit grammar very nicely and other form of the literatures, and he became expert in all scriptures, beginning with Vedanta Sutra. And his uncle was Prabodhananda Saraswati. He instructed him in understanding of different Bhakti Shastra. And when Gopal Bhatta Goswami went to Vrindavan, there Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they very heartily welcomed him and kept in their association. And he was serving there very nicely. And after 10 years, and what happened that once he went to Haridwar, and in Haridwar he was staying at a Brahmana's house, and that Brahmana served him very nicely. And he was so much pleased that he blessed him that you will be blessed with a son. At that time he was not having any son. And that Brahmana became so much happy, and he said that whenever I will get my son, my first son will be in your service. And later on he proceeds from Haridwar and he went to Gandaki river in Nepal, and while bathing there he found different saligram silas in his kamandalu. He was trying to give it back, but again they were appearing in his kamandalu. Then he thought that this is the will of the Lord, he wants to be served by me. So he brought all the saligrams and he was serving. So while serving, he was having desire that I want to dress my Lord very nicely, but since they were in saligram form, he was not able to do that. So once night he got all these clothes, and he was thinking like that, and he slept. Then next morning when he got up, he found that when he took his bath and went to wake up the deities, he found that one of his saligram has raised and manifested in the form of Sri Radha Raman Dev. So Sri Radha Raman Dev, they appeared on the day of Vaishakha Purnima of 1599. 1599, no, 15, I'm missing the. So they appeared, and after they appeared, so almost 10 years after that, when one day Gopal Bhatta Goswami came from, he's taking bath from Yamuna, and he was doing bhajan in his kuti. He saw that one boy is there, and he asked, "Who are you? From where you have come? Who is your father?" So then that boy replied that, "I am from Devvande Gram, and from Saharanpur, and my father has instructed me to go to you." And it was the same boy whom once Gopal Bhatta Goswami has propheted that he will come, you will be blessed with a boy, and that boy he has sent for the service of the Lord. And that boy remained with Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He was lifelong a brahmachari there, and he was named Gopinath. He served Radharaman deities. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami later accepted Srinivas Acharya as his disciple. And Sanatan Goswami composed Hari Bhakti Vilas with the help of Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Gopal Bhatta Goswami edited the work, and we see that Sad Sandarbha, which Jiva Goswami wrote, actually this was started by Gopal Bhatta Goswami and were not finished completely. So Gopal Bhatta Goswami was responsible for originating the six theses of Sad Sandarbha, later elaborately developed by Srila Jiva Goswami. So we see that how this Goswami, they, especially Gopal Bhatta Goswami, his contribution was there, Radharaman temple, and all, and he was so much a learned as scholars that he was, what we read, Hari Bhakti Vilas, Sat Sandarbha, are actually his starting, and from his reference all these were made. So on this day, we would like to pray to Gopal Bhatta Goswami's lotus feet that we all get mercy to perform devotional service properly so that we can please Guru and Gauranga. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Samveda Bhakta Vrinda ki.